One thing that I think coaches underestimate is the effect of stress or emotions on learning. When a player is stressed, whether within practice or from something outside of practice that they bring the stress to the practice environment, they're going to struggle to learn. Now, this is different than creating stressful situations within practice so that players are better able to adapt to these stressful situations that occur in a game. So, for instance, there's a difference between constantly being in a competitive or environment or kind of an environment where you're trying to prove yourself or make a team or something like that, and being in a safe team environment where you're preparing to face a stressful situation such as making a late game free throw or handling a pressure defense or something of this nature. Those are two different things. They have some similarities, but having a player who's stressed, and again, that can be from a variety of things in and outside of the team. So, one of the things I think we underestimate is how life outside of practice ultimately affects practice. So if a player is struggling with school, or maybe they got in trouble in school that day, or maybe they didn't eat, or maybe their mom or dad is sick or something and that's worrying them. Those kinds of stressful situations can make it harder for them to learn once they get to practice. Same thing when you're looking at teaching new things at the time of year that finals or midterms or something occurs. It's probably not the best time to be teaching new things because the players are going to be stressed already and they're going to be worn down mentally from the pressure and from the studying associated with the finals and the midterms. So that's the external stressors that can affect learning and practice. And then the internal is, coach behaviors, teammate behaviors. I think when coaches don't have a consistent rotation and kind of every day is a little bit of a stressful experience because you're trying to prove yourself every single day, it's harder to learn new things. And that's one of the reasons, we always talk about as coaches, getting players to get out of their comfort zones. Well, for them to be able to get out of their comfort zone, they actually have to have some comfort. They have to have some security in that environment. So if I feel like I'm in a safe environment, I feel like I have a supportive coach, I feel like, my playing time is somewhat secure, now I'm going to be more willing, more able to go outside my comfort zone, to try new things, to take in more of the instruction, more of the feedback from my coaches. Whereas if I'm really more in a competitive situation, where everything's always the competitive season and we're, preparing for the next game and there's a lot of stress involved and there's a lot of pressure to win every single game and so forth, I'm just not going to be as emotionally able to learn. And so that's one of the reasons why we need to balance the year in terms of the number of games that we play. It's not just the physical toll that games put on the body, but because I think in a lot of ways children have always played basketball year-round. They just haven't specialized in basketball year-round as much as they do now. But I think it's as much the emotional toll of being in that constant competitive environment and not having the time away from that where they can really learn and improve and practice different skills, try new things, because they're always, everything's the next game, next game, next game. So we need to have a traditional off season as much for the physical recovery, but also the emotional recovery and the ability to learn and improve and prepare for that next season.